Oh yeah, you the world famous, you know where I stay. I'm posted in the A, sitting low, my feeling right now. Every time I ride by.
Welcome everybody to the Atlanta Gladiators post-game show. I'm Blake Newsom, your host, all my co-host Connor Quinn, and we just got home from the game earlier. And how do you enjoy the game tonight, Connor?
Oh, I thought that was a great game. An amazing way to end the 2016-2017 season for the Atlanta Gladiators. They defeat the Greenville Swamp Rabbits by a final score of 6-2. That was an amazing game. And they had 2 goals in 9 seconds before the end of the second period ended. Then the PA announcer, he couldn't even finish announcing the previous goal before they knocked another one back in the net. What are your thoughts on tonight's game?
As you pretty much hit every spot I was going to say. I mean, it was a great night. Fans came out and supported them. They're now bidding on jerseys over in the other section. And so, yeah, that was a fun game and good way to end the season. Now, the Greenville Swamp Rabbits are still in the playoff race, along with the Stingrays, Solar Bears, and Everblades in our division. And the Gladiators fall short of the playoffs, end up with 27-37 in the wins and losses, 6 overtime losses, and 2 shootout losses. And Connor, what are your thoughts on how the season was compared to how they were a few years ago, Connor?
Well, I thought a few years ago, obviously they played better a few years ago, but I think they're more of an improving team now. And I think that... what was I going to say? I think that the way they kind of proved, because I went to, besides tonight's game, I was at one where they won 4-3 in overtime. They played really hard that night. I think it's just the level of intensity. They're an improving team. And the last part of the season, they played really well. And I think that moving forward, that you will see them maybe inching up and getting better and hopefully getting to the playoffs.
And we all hope from that, especially in Atlanta for the hockey. Hopefully, if they get a Kelly Cup here in Atlanta, that'll make people notice. Hopefully, that'll help people draw an NHL team back together. Anything to get a team. Moving on to the scoring column. The first goal in the night scored by Shane Baker, assisted by Tyler Murovich and Josh Atkinson, with 2:22 left in the first period. Then in the second period, Atlanta goes up 2-0 by a goal from Mark Naclero. 14th of the year, assisted by Eric Niley and Tom Vanelli, before Greenville comes answering back with a goal of their own by Nick Betts, with less than 2 minutes to go in the period, before, as you said, Atlanta scores right back with the goal of their own to go up 3-1 with Tom Frazee with no assist. So it was the 19th goal of the year. And as Connor said, the PA announcer barely had time to announce that the goal had been scored because Atlanta goes up 4-1 right before the period ends, with A.J. White assisted by Eric Nelly to go up 4-1. Moving on to the third period, Greenville scores to get themselves back into it by Tristan King, his 15th goal of the season, to move it 4-2. But Atlanta was able to close out the night strong with Trevor Mangoia getting a goal to make it 5-2, and with 8:45 to go left in the third quarter, Patrick McFadden scores his first goal of the year, assisted by Tom Vanelli and Ben Marshall. So, how do you think the Gladiators performed in the offensive end tonight?
I thought they played they played with so much attack. I know that we both noticed they had so many shots on goal, especially at the beginning of the game when they took the lead 1-0. That was just an amazing game, and I think that you will see definite improvement by this team in the near future. I just think that tonight's game hopefully represents next season and seasons moving forward. They had some great attacks coming in. There were so many other great chances to knock the puck into the back of the net that many other times couldn't get some in. We got to tip our hats off to the goalie for Greenville. He had some great plays in the game, except giving up 6 goals. And do you know how many shots it was
50 shots on goal for Atlanta, 34 for Greenville.
Okay, yeah, so 50 shots on goal.
He saved 44 of them, so that is pretty good.
Yeah. And Matt Ginn, the goalie for the Gladiators, has the win tonight to close out the season for the Atlanta Gladiators. He had a really good game, 32 saves, 2 goals given up, and I definitely agree with Blake how the level of intensity they had tonight hopefully will represent next season upcoming seasons in the near future. And what are your thoughts on how the Atlanta Gladiators will respond next season after knowing that they were one of the worst in the league this year?
Well, before I get to that, I just want to say that the sixth and final goal for Atlanta was a power play goal. But getting back to your question, that's just going to put more determination into them to play good. I mean, they played their hearts out tonight. I don't know if that was just part to say, hey, just send me up to AAA or the NHL, you know? But hopefully that put more determination in their gut. Hopefully they'll draw more fans to Atlanta to help them come out and support them. And it should be exciting to see in the years to come. I mean, they do have a few older guys on their team, but hopefully they're able to get some young prospects up there and have some rowdy guys to cheer for out there in Gwinnett.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. With 100% of what you said about hopefully being determined to win and win more games and hopefully clinch a playoff spot in next year's season. And in other news for Major League Baseball, the Braves fall tonight once again to the Pittsburgh Pirates by a final of 6-4. The Braves had
2 leads in this game.
Two errors. One by one was by
Brandon Phillips.
And who was the other one by?
Brandon Phillips.
Oh, but I think.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. The other one was Adonis Garcia. Adonis Garcia, and Brandon Phillips. And Pittsburgh had 10 hits. Atlanta had 11. And, of course, the final was 6-4.
Atlanta did have 2 early leads in this game. So that was a sad.
Chad Poole gets the win for Pittsburgh. He goes 1-0 on the season. And the loss is taken by R.E. Dickey. He goes to 0-1 on the year. And the save for Pittsburgh was Watson. I forget his first name. And so, in other news for Major League Baseball, currently in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs, the Athletics lead the Rangers 5-1. The Rockies lead over the Dodgers 4-1 in the top of the 8th, no outs. The Mariners lead over the Angels 2-0 in the top of the 2nd with 1 out. Diamondbacks lead the Indians 5-1 in the middle of the 8th inning. The Padres lead over the Giants by a score of 2-0 in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. The Tigers defeat the Red Sox 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
The White Sox defeat the Twins by a score of 6-2. The Cardinals defeat the Reds 10-4. And the Orioles defeat the Yankees 5-4. The Rays defeat the Blue Jays 3-2 in 11 innings. The Phillies defeat the Nationals 17-3.
After having 12 runs in the first inning.
Yeah. Wow, that's a huge win by the Phillies there. The Cubs went over the Brewers 11-6 in Milwaukee. The Royals defeat the Astros 7-3. And the Marlins went over the Mets 8-1. And now, so the current standings for the National League East, Washington currently leads with 3 wins, 2 losses. Miami is second in the NL East with 3 wins, 2 losses. And the Mets are in third with 2 wins, 3 losses. The Phillies are in fourth with 2 wins and 3 losses. And our hometown Atlanta Braves are trailing, are also at the bottom of the NL East with 1 win and 4 losses.
Not the trash can.
And, yes, hopefully we. I heard on the radio before driving to the Gladiators game tonight, Ryan Snickers said he was kind of pleased with where we were right now. He noticed the team was improving, but we could be better and hopefully pick up some wins. Hopefully tomorrow, when the Braves close out the series against the Pirates at 1:35 p.m. Eastern, hopefully they get a win and improved to 2-4. But right now, the Pirates are 2-2, and the Braves are 1-4. What are your thoughts on that, Blake?
Well, this after the Pirates having a good home start for this year after losing 2 up in Fenway to start the year, they're coming out for their home fans to show them, hey, don't, even though we had a rough start in Fenway, don't hate on us because we're gonna beat up on these Braves. So yeah, but moving on to ECHL scores around the league. The Florida Everblades defeat the Orlando Solo Bears tonight by a final score of 10-zip. The Kalamazoo Wings beat the Wheeling Nailers 5-2. The Admirac Thunder beat the Elmira Jackals 5-0. And in our game, the Gladiators beat the Greenville Swamp Rabbits 6-2. The Cyclones fall to the South Carolina Stingrays by a final score of 4-3. The Indy Fuel also lose by 10 to the Toledo Walleye, 10-0. The Branson Beasts get a close win over the Manchester Monarchs 5-4. The Reading Royals get a good win over the Norfolk Admirals 4-2. The Quad City Mallards fall to the Fort Wayne Comets 6-1. The Tulsa Oilers fall at home to the Wichita Thunder 5-1. And the Missouri Mavericks lose to the Utah Grizzlies 3-2. The Colorado Eagles beat the Rapid City Rush 1-0. And at 7 p.m. in a few hours up in Alaska, the Idaho Steelheads 42-22 in the year face the Alaska Aces at 32-29 on the year in the win-loss column. Connor, what are your thoughts on having 2 10-0 games tonight?
That's really impressive, and there's been a few games like that were with 10 goals. I feel bad for the goalie, whoever the goalie was in that game.
Or the 2 or 3 goalies.
Yeah, and it's just I think it sounds like giving up 10 goals. Their defense wasn't really at it that night. And tonight, with the Gladiators, it's just, I feel like the offense is really getting up to another level in every hockey league, from NHL all the way down to the AHL and ECHL.
And before we wrap things up, I'm going to go ahead and say the three-star players of the game before moving on to the roster. So, Connor, what was your favorite goal tonight as I'm pulling this up? What was your favorite goal that you saw tonight, or favorite save, either one?
I think my favorite goal was with the second goal that they scored to make it 4-1 in the second period with 9 seconds. That really made the crowd go crazy, and that was a really good environment tonight. I really enjoyed that, and I just think that was my favorite goal because coming out to that other goal, the crowd was already pumped up, and then the PA announcer, like I said earlier, couldn't even get through with finishing announcing the previous goal and was scored again. The crowd was still pumped up, and they got even more pumped up when they scored that second goal in 9 seconds, I believe it was, and led the Gladiators to a 6-2 win. And also in Major League Soccer, some news scores around the league. The New England Revolution defeat the Houston Dynamo by a full time of 2-0. In the 9th minute, the San Jose Earthquakes and Seattle Sounders FC are currently tied 0-0. And at halftime for Real Salt Lake and Vancouver Whitecaps, it's currently 0-0. And the Chicago Fire defeat the Columbus Crew 1-0. DC United wins over New York City FC by a final 2-1. Portland Timbers win in Philadelphia 3-1, and our hometown Atlanta United draws and splits the points with Toronto FC. That game ended 2-2 with full time. And last but not least, FC Dallas wins over the other expansion team coming in this year, Minnesota United, by a final 2-0. And Blake, Blake, before we wrap things up, how do you feel about today's game for Atlanta United?
I mean, they did get a point out of the Toronto to hopefully keeping themselves in the top 3 of the conference. I mean, now standing at 2-1 on the year. Hopefully this doesn't sound alarming to Atlanta United that they're not able to win these close games and clutch moments. But, I mean, you just got to give them time. I mean, this was a hard-fought game, I hear, and hopefully they'll pick up the dub next time they're out there. Moving on to the 3-star players of the game. Your third star of the game, Eric Neely for the Atlanta Gladiators with 2 assists. Shane Baker was the second star of the game on the Atlanta Gladiators with 1 goal and 1 assist. And Patrick McFadden, the first star of the game for the Atlanta Gladiators with 1 goal. Connor, how do you think these players performed tonight?
Well, I mean, not just those players, but I think the whole team played a heck of a game from the puck drop in the first period until the time ran out in the third period. They've been hustling the puck. All those shots on goal, especially in the first period, was outstanding. That was a really good performance by the team to close out the year. And those 3 players especially had star moments in the game. And Matt Ginn, our goalie for Atlanta Gladiators, he had a really good game too, only giving up 2 goals. But the team provided him with 6 goals over the win. And I just believe that next season you'll see some really big improvements with this team.
The attendance tonight, 7,789. Start time 7:11, end time 9:26 p.m. So the length of the game was 2 hours and 15 minutes. And we just want to say good luck to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits in the playoffs. They played a good game tonight, even though we did beat their butts. But that's probably why we beat their butts, because they're playing it easy, didn't want to risk any injuries. So thank you guys for listening. Good luck, Gladiators, next year. We hope to see you go further than you have. But good job getting the dub tonight. You're listening to the All Around Atlanta Sports Podcast or the Atlanta Teen Sports Center, whatever you want to call us. So we'll see you tomorrow or later this week. So go A-Town, and thank you for listening.